Welcome back to the British Accent Podcast. I'm Nick.
And I'm Emily. And today's episode is for all of you out there juggling 100 responsibilities, especially family. Whether you're a parent, a caregiver, a sibling helping out, or someone who's always putting others first, this one's for you.
Because let's be honest. Learning English while taking care of your family? It sounds nearly impossible some days. You're cooking, cleaning, helping with homework, managing emotions, and then you're supposed to find time for grammar and vocabulary.
Exactly. But here's the truth, it is possible. It might not look like traditional studying, and it might not follow a perfect routine, but you can make English a part of your life, even while you're caring for others. And it still counts. It's still valid. And you're still learning.
Sometimes the problem isn't motivation, it's guilt. You feel bad for taking time for yourself, even if it's just 10 minutes of English. Or maybe you feel like you're failing because you're not doing enough.
And that's where we want to start, by letting go of that guilt. Taking care of your family is not a break from your English, it's a context. A space. A place where your learning can grow, if you give yourself permission to see it that way.
So let's explore that idea. What if learning English didn't have to be a separate, quiet, perfect moment with a textbook? What if it could live inside your real life, right in the middle of the chaos?
Exactly. Let's talk about how you can blend English into your family rhythm, one small moment at a time.
Let's start with something simple, your morning routine. If you're getting your kids ready for school, try narrating what you're doing in English, even if it's just in your head. Let's get your socks. Time to brush your teeth. Where's your backpack? You're not just speaking English, you're practicing real-life vocabulary in real time.
And if your children are learning too, that's even better. You can say things out loud for both of you. It becomes a shared activity. What color is this shirt? Or let's count the apples. It turns English into a family moment, not a solitary one.
If you have babies or toddlers, talk to them in English during diaper changes or mealtimes. They won't mind your accent or your grammar, they'll love the sound of your voice. And you'll be training your brain to think in English without any pressure.
And let's talk about listening. If you're cooking or folding laundry, that's the perfect time to listen to something, an English podcast, a YouTube video, or even a children's audiobook. You don't have to understand every word. Just let the rhythm of the language flow into your ears.
Exactly. Passive listening is underrated. Even if you're not focused, your brain is still soaking in the structure, tone, and vocabulary. Over time, that adds up. You start recognizing patterns. You begin to feel what sounds right.
And when the house is finally quiet at night, even if you're exhausted, you can take 5 minutes to reflect. Maybe write down one sentence in English about your day. Something like, I was tired, but I made it through. That's more than a sentence, it's a declaration that you're still growing.
It's also okay if you don't have the energy to speak or write. Reading a short English post, glancing through headlines, or just rereading old vocabulary can still count. English doesn't always have to be loud or active. Quiet progress is still progress.
And if you ever find yourself comparing your journey to someone else's, don't. Especially not to someone without your responsibilities. Your path will look different. And that's not a weakness, that's a strength.
In fact, learning English while being a caregiver is one of the most powerful examples of persistence we know. You're balancing love, labor, language, and still showing up.
And that deserves recognition. Not every lesson is in a book. Some of the most important ones are in your daily life, in how you keep going, even when it's hard.
Let's get even more specific, mealtime. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you're already doing a repetitive task. Why not use that as a mini language lab? You could describe what you're cooking out loud. I'm boiling the rice, I'm chopping carrots, the water is hot. You're not adding any time to your day, you're just layering in English.
Exactly. And if your hands are busy, your ears can still learn. Try playing simple English songs or stories while you cook. Even background exposure helps. Repetition makes it stick, especially when paired with actions you do every day.
What about bath time? That's another golden moment. Narrate what's happening in English: let's wash your hair, this water is warm, or time to dry off. These aren't complicated phrases, but they are practical, and using them builds muscle memory.
And don't forget about those quiet moments, when you're rocking a baby, pushing a stroller, or waiting in the car. You could listen to an English podcast for 5 minutes. Or, if your mind is too tired, just observe the world around you and name things in English in your head.
Right. That's a tree. That's a bicycle. She is walking. It might seem too simple, but simplicity is your friend when you're juggling so much. You're not trying to pass an exam right now, you're building fluency through real life.
Even cleaning becomes a chance to learn. Say the names of the items you're touching. I'm wiping the table. This is the window. The floor is dirty. It keeps you thinking in English without stopping what you're doing.
And if your child is old enough, make it a game. What's this in English, or can you say this word? You're helping them, and you're practicing too. It's learning together, not alone.
Also, don't underestimate the power of phone time. If you're scrolling social media, try following English-speaking creators. Even 10 seconds of exposure can be useful: phrases, expressions, pronunciation, it all adds up.
One of the most powerful mindsets you can adopt is this: I'm learning even when I'm not studying. That shifts your self-talk. Instead of feeling guilty for not sitting down with a textbook, you'll start to feel proud of how much you're actually doing.
You might not see results right away, but they are happening, quietly, gently, underneath everything. You're carrying so much, and yet, you're still finding ways to grow. That's something to hold on to.
Let's not forget bedtime routines. Whether you're tucking in your child, brushing teeth, or changing into pajamas, these are all chances to use gentle, repetitive English. You could say, let's brush our teeth, time to sleep, or even whisper a short bedtime story in English. These small, peaceful moments are powerful for language retention.
They really are. And you don't have to be perfect. If you forget a word, describe it another way, or even check it quickly on your phone later. You're still making progress. English isn't about perfection, it's about communication and consistency.
That's such a good reminder. And if your day feels too full, even mentally saying a few sentences to yourself before you fall asleep can make a difference. Something like, today I was tired, but I still spoke a little English. That's a full sentence. That's growth.
Or you can reflect in simple journal form: I cooked. I cleaned. I listened. I said a few words. Writing or thinking in English, even for 1 minute, teaches your brain to switch into the language naturally. It's not flashy, but it's real learning.
And it builds your confidence. Because you're not waiting for the perfect study moment. You're showing up for yourself, every single day, in the middle of real life. That's the kind of learner who actually sticks with it long term.
Yes. You're not doing this because it's easy, you're doing it because it matters. And the fact that you're listening to this episode, right now, tells us that you care deeply about growing, even while you care for everyone else.
You're not just learning English, you're building a quiet kind of strength. The kind that grows slowly, but steadily. The kind that lasts.
And sometimes that quiet strength is all you need to keep going. You might not realize it yet, but by folding English into the everyday, when you're wiping down the table, packing lunches, or folding clothes, you're teaching your brain that this language belongs in your life. It's not separate from who you are. It's becoming part of your rhythm.
Exactly. And over time, that rhythm becomes automatic. You'll find yourself saying things in English without thinking. Where's the spoon? I need to buy milk. Let's open the window. These everyday expressions come from real life, not from a textbook. And they stick because they are meaningful.
I love that. It's not about cramming vocabulary while the kids nap. It's about weaving English into the moments that already exist. Maybe you're changing a diaper or waiting for pasta to boil, and you just say, "This is hot," or "almost done." It seems so small, but it adds up.
It absolutely does. Think of it like compound interest. A little bit each day, over time, grows into something powerful. You don't need big blocks of study time to become fluent, you need consistency and compassion for yourself.
Yes, compassion is huge. Some days you might only say one word in English. That's okay. On other days, you might chat with yourself while you fold laundry. That's okay too. You're not falling behind, you're moving in the right direction, at your own pace.
And I think the beauty of learning this way is that you start to associate English with warmth, with home, with care. You're not learning in a cold classroom, you're learning through love, through real life. That kind of learning leaves a lasting mark.
It really does. You're proving that you don't have to choose between caring for your family and improving your English. You can do both, slowly and gently. And that's powerful.
So if you've ever felt like you don't have enough time, or that your busy life means you can't really learn English, please remember, you already are. Every word you whisper while cooking, every phrase you mumble during chores, every small sentence you think in your head, it all counts.
You're not behind. You're not failing. You're learning in a way that fits your life, and that's something to be deeply proud of. Language isn't only built in classrooms, it's built in kitchens, in laundry rooms, in bedtime routines, and grocery store aisles.
We hope this episode reminded you that your everyday life is already your English classroom, and you are showing up, beautifully, even when it feels slow or invisible.
This is the British Accent Podcast. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. We believe in you, and we're here for your journey, one gentle sentence at a time.